Alright guys, thanks for coming back for another one. Like I promised, you guys are going to see a little bit of video on the Integra today. We got to get this pile of shit in the air. As I mentioned from my prior videos, I keep on blowing exhaust stuff apart. I knew about the passenger side header gasket, but yesterday I decided it was a nice enough day I was going to take the car to work, and somehow I must have lost the back bolt on my driver's side header collector. I lost the nut, so it completely disconnected. Car sounded like a lawn tractor yesterday. So I went at lunch and got some some nuts doing the backside of the collector. I was able to get my hand back there and get one started and get it finger tight to get home. I didn't want to get on it too much because I'm going to throw my tune off. It's on the primary where my wideband is too, so I just limped it home yesterday. So we're going to get this in the air, get that on, get tightened. We might be going to a show today. Gavin's Integra, we're going to get the driver's side door panel off, and we're going to put in a window regulator today. Got a window regulator on the floor there. We got a passenger side quarter panel molding we're going to pop on today. We're waiting on some clips to come in the mail from Amazon today, and we might take him out driving a little bit today, get him a little bit more used to driving stick. Got some transfer paper coming, some high-tack transfer paper coming, so I can get my crystal vinyl on today. The whole reason why I started cutting vinyl was to cut my own stickers, and I've spent so much time cutting everybody else's stuff that I haven't even gotten a chance to do my own stuff. So hopefully I'm going to get my own stickers on my car today, and maybe we'll take the car out for a little bit. Hey Gavin, do you want to back the Mustang out? No. No? You scared of it? Yeah. You don't think you'll figure it out? I tried. He can't say I never tried. I got the Integra outside because I cannot get the doors fully open inside the garage to get the window regulator done. We didn't get it done yesterday because my wife talked me into going to a car show, as weird as that may sound. So I took the Mustang out for a little bit, and you know, anytime I can convince her to go out to a car show or go out in the Mustang, I take advantage of that. So we're gonna see. We have the window regulator and the motor assembly for the Integra here. We'll throw this up on the porch. I've never actually done one of these before, but I know they're going to be a pain in the ass. So that is basically that there. From what I figure, you're going to have two bolts right there that holds onto the window. You're going to have two bolts there and there to hold it onto the door frame, and my guess is probably there, hold it in the door frame as well. Actually, this flips over, holds in there. So that is my guess, at least, how this is going to go in. We will see once we actually get started, but I'll try and take as much video as we can. I'm going to try and let Gavin do as much of this as he can, because he does need to learn to work on it. Also, we got the side molding, and we got clips for the side molding. If you guys can see there, just a teeny bit of rust showing right there and right there. I may have him sand that down a little bit and get a little bit of primer on that to avoid that rusting out in the future. Again, it's going to be covered, but just for good measure maybe. So for you guys that have not seen the car, again, the car is fairly clean. You know, remember, this was a pretty cheap car. So you can see some clear coat oxidation. You can see some rash up here in the bumper and some splitting or spider webbing of the paint there. So it's probably had some really light, you know, right there in the corner. Same deal in a crack, so it's probably had some light impact on the front bumper. A girl was driving it for the last 5 or 6 years. Other than that, it's pretty clean otherwise. You can see the front bumper again. You can tell it's either been off the car or some kind of small impact. Tabs are busted on this headlight, so this headlight flaps. Wheels are some American racing wheels. They're kind of trashed. So we're going to get those off. The tires are good though, so I can't complain about that. Mirrors always seem to be trash in these things, so these mirrors are just fucked. They're not all that nice. Again, yeah, clear coat oxidation on the roof. We peeled off tint on this the other day, or not the other day, the other week when we got it. Rear bumper, for the most part, is pretty straight. Got a crack down there. Taillight's got a crack right there, so I'm going to replace the taillights. But other than that, I mean, the body lines are pretty straight on the car. There's no rust on it. It's really clean underneath. Interior is, you see the door handle and the mirrors. Interior has got that awesome confetti looking interior, I guess Honda called it. But the interior is pretty damn clean. So overall, this car is a pretty clean car. Gavin should have lots of fun with it. Gavin, you ready to get started and start learning how to work on your car? Yeah, alright. Alright, so first thing, get other way. Turn the other way. Because that's how you loosen it. So Gavin's going to be taking out the door cup first, which is just a Phillips screw, and then he pulls that out, and he's going to move up to the lock panel next, which is a Phillips screw, and then we just pop the tabs with the panel popper going around the door. So there's just a little hide panel in there to pop open and get to that screw. I'm going to throw those screws inside that door cup so we don't lose them, because they get lost easily. Alright, so you can pull up from there. It should pop out. Alright, so that's enough to get it out. So now what you want to do is get the panel popper, and you can try and pop away at that. There you go. Put that with all the other screws. And now you just take your fingers around the edges of the door and just pop, and then it'll pull out. Alright, now pull up on the door. Pop it out of the track. Like that. Alright, so what we didn't show there, because we needed two hands, was we had to unplug the harness from there, and there for the tweeter, door locks, and window actuator. And you can see the harness there. So basically what we got to do is pull away all this old shit. I'm probably going to rip all this off, and then we got to figure out how to get to the window regulator from there. Alright, so we pulled away the weather liner a little bit, and as I was saying earlier when I showed you guys the window regulator, what I believe is you get a 10 right here, 10 right here, 10 right there, 10 right there for the window regulator itself, and then you see a plastic clip right there and a plastic clip right here on this side. That's going to be two more 10s that actually holds the window into the regulator itself. So again, we're going to pause it and make sure we have a battle plan, because I've never done this before. And then I'm going to loosen those up and then have Gavin hold the window and see if we can fish this thing out without breaking the window. And once you get those out a little bit, you can always just do them with your fingers. Pull them the rest of the way out. Sometimes I find that easier. Now, one thing you guys are going to find is a pain in the ass is that glue from that weather liner. That shit gets stuck on everything. So if you have hairy arms or hairy hands or hairy knuckles, this stuff is a pain in the ass and it goes everywhere. So just put that on the side on the floor, and then we'll put everything together. So what you guys don't see is I'm holding up the window over here, so the window's not going anywhere. I think the regulator is not seized up, but it's all the way up anyway, so this thing's not really going to drop too far. Alright, so we got the window loosened. One thing, we took out all those bolts that I showed you and it still wasn't moving. Turns out there was a bolt right here, another 10 mil, and another 10 mil right here that needed to be pulled out for the motor regulator, or for the window regulator to drop. We got the 10 millimeter on this side of the window out. We let the window down softly, got out from the bottom. This side is a little bit easier to get up through this hole, so I had Gavin pull the window back up to get that one out. Alright, so as you can see, this shit gets stuck all over your arms as you're fishing your arm through to get the window out. On the back side of the regulator, there's a plastic push pin right here that holds the actual motor. The motor sits right about there. It holds the motor in there, so you're gonna have to unclip the harness down here from this plug, and then you undo. You just basically push that through, and it'll pop down. So we still have Gavin holding the window. Gavin's a strong guy. He can hold this for at least an hour or two. And right there's the old window regulator assembly out. And we will try and get the new one in and get it fed in there. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's not the hardest thing in the world either. So we'll get this unclipped here. I'll feed this back through and see if we can get it all to bolt back in. So you guys can see the grueling process of feeding this thing back through. So you want the motor on this side, and you're basically gonna jimmy it in and feed it around. So we'll feed it in from the bottom. And Gavin is still holding up the window. Alright. So first thing we're gonna try and do is get the window screws back in. Alright, I'm going to show you guys this off the car. So what I didn't realize, I was trying to start these two top bolts here going to the window. I was trying to push this on and start the bolts and do this with my hands tucked up in, not realizing that these are actually slotted and they have a big eyelet. So basically you just start the bolts by hand, put the regulator in place on these big holes, and then you just slide it over. Slide this over in the track and tighten it. So that makes life a lot easier. So we got the window bolted in now. Now it's just a matter of getting the regulator in place and pushing it up to where the right bolt types match up. So I'm guessing that one goes about okay. So we get this one lined up here, get this started, hold most of this in place. Ooh, fingers jammed. All right. Push that one up there. So it looks like this one is an adjustment for some point if your window is misaligned up top. So if that top part is sinking down, my guess is that's what this is for. Alright. So we got a couple bolts started, and you can see things are starting to line up better here. Okay, there we go, one bolt there. And guys, when you're getting used window regulators, it's always good to test it off the car. Before we threw all this shit back into place, I had Gavin plug in the door panel so we can test this, make sure this did work, because this was a used part. This is going to be a budget build. This is a high school kid, so trying to do as much used clean parts as I can. Again, this is the pain in the ass with this shit. The stuff that I want to be sticky is slippery, and the stuff that I want to be slippery is sticky. Alright. So. Let the window down a little. For for the most part, we got this bolted in. I think we still have to get a bolt. Actually, there were a bolt there and there, I believe. Something else isn't lining up, so we might have to move the window regulator up and down to get this to bolt in. But you're gonna pull your plug in through the door, and then this is gonna give the regulator power from the switch assembly. So I had Gavin push up the window and pull down the window to be able to get all this shit to line up. So I think we got everything into place now. We're basically just gonna snug these to test everything. And everything is lining up now, so everything should. Keyword is should work. As you can see, these here are eyelets again that are slotted. I think that was for the motor assembly, so that's to make the motor drop in and out easier maybe. And window's holding up. Go get me the door panel. Try and plug in the door panel and test this and see how it works. Let's make sure not to lose any of those screws. Alright, so yes guys, I know I could do this a lot easier by just removing the switch panel out of the door, but I didn't want to do that. Alright, so plug in your electronics box, that's the controller. Alright. And wherever the key may be for the car. Alright. I'm going to put in an accessory and test the window. A little slow. Alright, so when it goes slow like that, I think that means we need to clean something out in the tracks. Alright, so we're going to, we should probably lube everything up real good too in that track. Alright, we're going to stop this for now. I'm going to try lubing up, spraying some silicone down in that track over there and that track over there. And we'll lube up the motor assembly on the regulator. Alright, so this what I thought was going to be, you know, half an hour, maybe an hour thing has turned into like, I don't even know how many hours. It has been a long and frustrating day. As you guys can see, it is nice and sunny out. It is fucking hot. The sun has not been out in 87 days, and we've been getting fall weather, which has been in the 50s. And now the day that I actually have to work outside on the car because I can't do the shit inside the garage, it decided it wanted to be hot as fuck. So where I left off, I had the door panel out and the regulator out. The window was going up and down, except for it was dragging. I tore everything apart multiple times. I saw where it was dragging. It was dragging right, you know, mid-door up on this side. It was kind of dragging, going slow and getting stuck. I had to help it up, so I was like, what the fuck? So I kept on seeing where it was dragging. It just didn't make any sense. I pulled out all the gaskets, seals, all kinds of shit. I just couldn't get it. Looked at the regulator didn't look bent, nothing looked messed up, so I swapped in the other regulator, just swapped the working motor in. It was doing the same shit, so I was like, what the fuck? I got to one point, I called a buddy that has a garage. I was going to go over his garage and have him, you know, have a second set of experienced eyes look at it with me and see if I was missing anything that, you know, was obvious. So I got all pissed off, threw the fucking door panel on the trunk, threw the lock thing on, just unlock the doors, get my son in. The doors wouldn't unlock. I was like, what the fuck? So then I go to start the car, and the car wouldn't start. And I'm like, what the fuck? How can this day get any worse? So I'm going all crazy. Some electrical stuff's working. I was like, what the hell? Is the battery dead? So then I go and jump it with my F-150. I was like, how much you want to make it bet it was because the battery was weak, that the window wasn't going back up. I was going slow because then this one started doing it. So I get the car started. Poof, the window starts going up. A little bit slower than what it, you know, should have brand new, but a lot faster than what it's been doing. So this whole time I've been banging my head off the wall. Guys, don't get frustrated like I do. When I get frustrated, I don't think straight, and my troubleshooting skills go out the window, and I focus on one thing thinking that that's the problem, and it's not really the problem. So, make a long story short, this is what it was doing when the battery wasn't charged. So now, let's see if it's got enough energy. Now it's got enough energy to go. So I might have to take the battery out, go get the battery manually charged. You can see it's going up pretty good now. So you can see passenger side, I didn't touch that side. But that one goes up and down fine as well. So I'm pretty much done for the day. I'm licked from this. I'm just pissed off. I had my son go inside so I could finish getting the door panel on. So this is nostalgia from back when having my Integras. You know, just dumb shit would go on all the time, and it was a constant frustration. I remember my Type R frustrating the hell out of me many times. So I'm done for today. I'm going to pack it up. Next thing's going to be getting the passenger side headlight in, getting the passenger side molding back on the back. We got to fix something with the radio, the mounting kit. Whoever did this kind of half-assed it, and this is busted. So I got to get a new mounting kit and bolt all that in. So as my kid's learning to drive stick, the radio keeps on popping out. So I got to do that, and I forget what else I have on my list. I might have a couple other little things to take care of, but that's it for now. Catch you guys on the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Laugh at my misfortune for a little bit. And thanks again.